to be prepared for the game. And, it's a balance for me because I always want to protect the football. That's my number one objective when I'm carrying the ball. But at the same time, I think when you can make one guy miss, two guys miss, and you get those extra 3-4 yards, those add up over the course of a game. And I think the elite receivers really do that at a high level. So that's someone I see myself being, and I just think I've put some good things on film so far, but now's the time to really hone in on that for me.
You've obviously played with a couple quarterbacks in your time here. Maybe you've heard that.
Yeah.
Another one with Jayden. What are some of your early impressions of him? What stands out to you
Yeah.
him?
He's very charismatic. I think he's really personal when he walks into the building. He just has a calm demeanor about him. He's very approachable. So guys have no problem whether you're an offensive lineman, receiver, running back, talking to him, communicating what the objective is of this play or what he's seeing, what he's thinking. And he came in really prepared. I feel like when he was getting one's reps or where he's working with the twos, like he does a great job of getting the most out of the reps that he needs to accomplish. And I think he's going to be a really good player because of the time and the work that he puts in. Like, I don't think I've had a young quarterback that really has come in and within the first week he's like, hey, can we get this route or let me get this rep after practice? And so it's exciting for me because, that opens the door because, they got a lot on their plate, but at the same time when there's that open door of communication and he's not afraid to get that work in before or after practice or talk through things, it makes the growth part a lot quicker. And he's very talented, but he's extremely humble as well. And I'm looking forward to see how he continues to grow. And it's hard to pinpoint. When you're around him more, you can really tell, like, he's humble, but he's confident in his ability. Like, he's played at the highest level. He's played against really great competition, and he knows that he can make all the throws. So he's not putting the cart before the horse. He's literally taking this thing day by day, and he's doing a really good job right now.
You've been through a bunch of mini camps, not training camp yet, but we noticed a difference.
Yeah.
Do you notice the difference in the staff and what you guys are doing during this time?
Definitely. I think Coach Quinn and the entire staff have really enforced not just effort but the competition aspect of football. And we're in practice now, and guys are really, like, pissed off when the offense loses or the defense loses the day. Like, coming from, I'm far removed from college, but it reminds me a lot of the college days where you're just getting after each other. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think on the schedule it says Commanders play the Commanders, but that competitiveness makes each and everybody better because you want to be the one who's winning that rep. You want to be the side of the ball is winning that practice. You want to win in the weight room. And it's a constant mentality that they're driving home to where you always have to be in competition mode. I think that's the game of life. You know what I mean? You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And I think Coach Quinn really allows us to lay out a plan for ourselves, like for myself getting better at the top of my routes or getting better at run after catch. He sets the standard for all of us to get better and pinpoint the things we need to get better on, and then he gives us time before or after practice to get better on it, working with our position coach. So he makes the time for us to be able to work on the things that we need to improve on. But I just think the number one thing that stood out is the competition that's in and out of the building every day.
DQ told us this morning that the offensive system is installed and that there's a lot of it. Is there like a number of plays or pages in the playbook? Like how much stuff are we talking about here?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in multiple offenses, and this is on par with all of them. Like, for this point in the season, you're going to get pretty much all your playbook in for the most part. I think when you get towards the season, it's more game plan specific. So you have your plays, but then you're game planning with plays that may work against the coverage you're going to see this week or what have you. But I just think they did a great job. Really, the first few weeks, the first week we didn't even really talk a lot of X's and O's. We just got to know each other. We did a lot of team building things, and I noticed you start to notice the guard drops with everybody on the team. It's like, yeah, we're here to compete for jobs. Yeah, we're teammates, but at the same time, like, we are really fighting for one another. You know what I mean? And we're bringing the best out of each other, and we're making a commitment each and every day to bring our best selves. And then if we don't have it, then we know somebody else is going to pick us up. And so, that trust that is being built right now allows you to go through the ups and the downs of a season, which every team goes through. I know I got a little off topic, but I think, the X's and O's are going to come, but the camaraderie that I feel on this team that's being built right now is extremely special, and I think it makes the grind a lot easier.
Cliff runs a unique offense compared to other NFL, especially with the way he uses receivers. How do you anticipate your role changing, and how do you view the offense from a receiver perspective specifically?
Yeah, I think he likes to really push the ball down the field. He likes to be balanced. He likes to give different looks to a defense. We're going to not to try to get too much into it, but, we're going to use some motion, move some guys around and things of that nature. I think for myself, I feel comfortable playing any of the positions that is asked, whether it's the slot, the outside positions. And unique part about our offense is I don't think necessarily you play the X or the Z, because depending on the formation or the hash, you can be the opposite. You could be the X, but then you're to the field, now you're the Z. So you got to really learn the entire concept and know where you're out in the field, which I think makes everybody smarter players, because you don't pigeonhole yourself. I just play X. I only know this position. Like, you get in 2 minutes, you're the Z. Now you got to know what to do. You may have the clear out route, or you may have the backside dig. Like, you got to know what you're doing. So I think he doesn't just say, like, we're going to do this offense. He's really trying to create an offense that fits our personnel really well.
That field boundary thing,
yeah,
that's a thing in college, but it seems like it's more unique to Cliff. Is that something you're used to seeing in other offenses you've been in the NFL?
Yeah, definitely. I think if I'm on the left hash, like, technically I'm the X, I'm in the boundary, but if we're on the right hash, I'm still on the left side. I'm really the Z in the concept, because I'm to the field, I'm to the strength with the tight end. So I've been in offenses it's similar like that before, and I just think he one thing I think that's really stood out is the complements of our routes that we have so far. I feel like we have a chance to really run similar stems, but there's different routes off those stems and things like that, which I think for a receiver like myself, who you get a really good look at DBs and they study your film, they study your splits, like having routes that look the same but break off at different angles is extremely important, because it feels like you have some versatility in your bag to go out with, versus like you got this hitch again, your backside, like that's all you got, you know what I mean? So he's just been a really good person to work with, and he's been really communicative with the leaders and how we want this offense to look like, and some of the ideas that we may have as well. So it's been a really cool transition.
You talk about the transitions, your third offense in 3 years, probably your fourth in 6 years.
Yeah.
How do you not kind of build up some barriers of man, I got to do this again?
Right. I think, human nature is always a factor in whatever you do in life, but I think I try to make a conscious choice of coming in with a new year mentality each and every year. And I think it's easy because we've had so many changes, and it's been great working with Marcus and Jayden and Jeff and Sam, everybody. Like, it's been great with working with all the quarterbacks, and I just have a mentality of not really being complacent. Like, I try to really focus on the things that I can come back better at this year, and I've been working my butt off to do that. So I think the easy thing, and when I was younger, you're like, dang, like, you just want that consistency, you know what I mean? Like, you want that something that you could depend on, but like life isn't always like that. So I've been reinvigorated because of just the energy that DQ brings into our building each and every day, and the coaches as well. Like, it's fun competing, you know what I mean? And sometimes I could get lost in the grind, but I think the reason why you make it here at this level is because you fall in love with the competition of it. And I think the competition breeds the success, because that is really where the iron truly sharpens iron. So, other guys are going to make plays, but you get excited to go in there and know that the next day we're going to go right back after the defense. So for myself, I'm just looking forward to continue to grow with the quarterbacks that we have. I'm in year 6 now, which is an extreme blessing, and one of the leaders in our room, and I just try to take the bull by the horns with that. And so that's really been my focus, and I'm excited for another year.
to us, it's looked like you're being more vocal on the sideline, trying to help young guys.
Definitely.
Is that something you decided this offseason, or?
I think that's been a part of my maturation process as a leader. I've always seen myself as somebody that was a leader by example. But from coaches and other teammates I've had over the years, guys like to hear what I have to say for whatever reason sometimes, And I think the biggest thing where I've tried to figure out where I fit in with my vocal leadership is I never wanted to be like a dictator. You know what I mean? I never wanted to tell guys what to do or be a yeller or things like that. Like when I say something, I want it to have power. I want it to have meaning. And I hope, the guys would feel the same way if they were to ask them that question. Because I want to see all these guys win, man. Like it's hard to make it in this league and to stay in a career. And so any way I could help the receivers, the DBs, I'm talking to some of the linemen, Johnny who's rehabbing his foot. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a role and everybody has a different story and path. And so if I could share what I've been through, my testimony to help them or do things that kind of slow down the process, I'm going to try to do that because we need everybody from the rookies to the 10-year vets to make this thing work. So more so I try to speak to what I know and really those honest conversations that I try to have with guys where they know I'm coming from a good place. And I think I'm not the type of guy where I'm just the one talking at them. Like if they see something, like I could take a coaching point from Luke McCaffrey. I could take a coaching point from Dayami, from Jahan, from Marcus, from anybody, like I think that's what makes you a great player when you can really be coachable from anybody and not take it from a personal standpoint.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying about Cliff and the offense, how is he as a teacher in teaching all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think he does a really great job of making things simple first and foremost. He doesn't overcoach. And I think that's the trust that he has in our group and his coaches, our position coaches, to fill in the details. So we'll have an install meeting, and it'll be a good amount of time, but then our position coaches will have time and we'll make it specific to that position. And so then we'll come in and have a walkthrough, and then after that we'll have another walkthrough. And so I don't think there's been a time where I've come out here and I'm kind of worried about what I got. You know what I mean? And when you get into certain offices, there could be so many details where you could be overwhelmed. And I think then it kind of separates guys in the sense that, like, one guy may study more than another guy. But when you have these sessions that we have where we're having installs in the morning, we're having 2 walkthroughs, and then we're coming on the field and doing it, like, I think you notice a lot of guys are playing a lot faster and more confident because he's keeping it simple, but also he's very particular in what he's expecting. But it's not a lot. So there's not a pressure of to get it right, but at the same time, what's expected of you, and you're going to have the tools given to you to be successful out there on the field.
In this offseason, just the totality of change from front office players, coaches, the turf field. I mean, just what has that been like for you just to see all this going on?
It's been fun. I think from Mr. Harrison, the entire ownership group, down to Adam Peters, down to DQ, down to Jayden, who we drafted, and bringing in Marcus and Jeff and all those guys, and down to leaders we have on our team. I think it was extremely specific on the way they tried to build this thing going into this year. First, having the right people, bringing in leaders, bringing in guys who love to compete. First thing that DQ said when he came here was, in his first meeting, like, if you love to compete, this is going to be the place for you. And I love it. You know what I mean? I love bags and going at it with the DBs every day. Like, the little mundane stuff can seem a little boring, but I think those are the where you make the gains during the off season, where you're really focused on, I'm gonna give all I got for this day, and I'm gonna get better, and then I'm gonna learn from the film and come back tomorrow and ready to do it again. And he also understands, like, the benefits of having breaks. Like, he's given us breaks. We've had, weeks off here and there that we can compose ourselves, but then come back and give it all we got. You know what I mean? And when you got a coach that understands the physicality of an entire season where you guys do need breaks, by the same time we're going to get after it, it makes it fun as a leader because you can take that to your room and be like, yo, we got this week, you know what I mean? That's extremely important, but we have this little break coming up where you're going to get your mind and your body and your soul right. So, coming into this season, I'm really optimistic of what we can be this year, and I think it started with the foundation that the ownership group and the entire staff has built. And now it's on myself as a leader to continue to hone that into the locker room. But I think it's great because we have so many great leaders from all across the league who have won. And, hell, we got Bobby Wagner in there. You know what I mean? Like, that's a Hall of Famer. So, like, you know, being able to have kind of guys like that you can lean on that can sometimes take over that leadership role where it doesn't fall on one person, I think it's extremely refreshing. And knowing that everybody's on the same page and the message is the same allows you to go out there with confidence and know what's expected of you.
Terry, you seem to spend many of your off seasons learning about things beyond football, hobbies, what have you. Did you do anything this off season so far to hobbies or increase your knowledge of the world around you?
That's a good question. Played a lot of golf. That just keeps my competitive juices flowing. Planning a wedding. That's going well. And, man, I've just been grinding, like, honestly. You know what I mean? I've been hungry this off season. Like, I started working out, you know, pretty early. And you start to see guys, like, coming back. And it's just fun to be here and compete and feeling like everybody's on the same page. You know what I mean? Like, and so for me, I'm going to grind every off season, but just this one just feels like it's the start of something, you know, new and special. And the foundation of it is extremely important. And to be a part of that, to have a hand in that, you know, it's an honor, you know. And I put a lot of expectation on myself to come out here and be the guy that I know I'm capable of, and also, like, taking the next step and being somebody that our quarterbacks that can trust and believe in. So this offseason was pretty simple for me. It was just really about, you know, working and grinding and getting better.
You talked about Jayden before. Is there anything so far? I know we haven't seen everything, but in terms of his arm strength, the throws he's making, anything surprise you so far about the types of his ability in that regard?
Definitely. I think after the second or third crosser that he threw, I started telling receivers, like, hey, you got to get your head around. You know what I mean? Because, again, each quarterback throws the ball differently and sees the field differently. So sometimes on crossers, a lot of quarterbacks may like to see you cross the ball and get into that open zone over there, or if it's man, flatten it off. They like to see you get open. With him, he has a really good anticipation over the middle of the field where he can make those throws and give you a chance to catch and run. And he's really accountable too. Like, we had a play today where he felt like he missed me, and, you know, it's not a big deal at all. You know what I mean? Him and I could talk through those things, and there's been a play that I've talked to him about I could do a better job of. But, again, like, that open form of communication from a rookie, I think is very rare, and I think it speaks to the confidence. He knows who he is, but he's also not afraid to say when he's wrong, and he knows he needs room to improve. But his touch on the D ball is amazing. You know, I love getting extra reps after practice with him, with just catching the top end of a deep ball. That's big for me. You know what I mean? I get to track the ball over my shoulder, and it's big for him to be able to get used to dropping the ball in the bucket. But he just naturally has an ability to throw the ball. He sees the windows really well, and now he's just, you know, continue to get adjusted to the speed and the pass rush. Like, I think he's these reps that he's getting are unbelievable during 11-on-11 because he's getting the field. Payne and Allen and D.A. and Cleveland Farrell, like, we got some dogs up there who are going to come after him. You know what I mean? And we got some great guys up front who are going to protect him. And so these reps, I feel like, are even better than just 7-on-7. 7-on-7, I think he could do in his sleep, to be fair. Like, he throws the ball really well. But when you get this 11-on-11, 2-minute drill, you're putting him in game-like situations, and I'm looking him in his eye. I'm like, yeah, we playing real ball now. Like, we playing. You know what I mean? And you just see no anxiousness in his game and his demeanor, which is extremely exciting. And then, you know, he's extremely lighthearted, and he's always smiling. So he's joking with linemen, D-line. He's just cool with everybody. And like I said, like, for a rookie quarterback to come in like that where guys are gravitating to him and he's not afraid to be who he is, that's dope. I think he has a bright future for himself.
Last one. The tough losses, the tough seasons can weigh on a player.
Sure.
You're entering the prime of your career. J.A. kind of mentioned it last year. All he cares about is winning. He wants to win now. Is there a sense of urgency? You obviously always want to win.
Yeah.
But knowing that, you know, you're getting to the prime of your career, like, you want to win now.
Yeah, I think that's a fair question. I think, you know, you start to evaluate when I'm in year 6, and you notice how fast it goes. And I try not to put the cart before the horse or looking too far ahead, but at the same time, you do want to win, and you want to be a part of a winning culture and have a chance to win the Super Bowl and the playoffs and all those things. Like, that's why we do this personally. And I'm just excited with being a part of a organization and an environment where now, like, everybody's on the same page and the message is uniform and it speaks from the top down, and it reflects in the guys that they're bringing in. You know, all the guys that they brought in are guys who are hungry, who are competitors, who not only fighting for spots but are going to help us win games. And when you're around an environment like that makes you excited. It makes you hopeful. And, you know, you don't know how it's going to turn out until we start playing games. But the foundation is extremely important. And I think this offseason we've really done a great job of building that. They have, and then when Coach Quinn got here, building it with this team. So I feel like we're going to be going into this offseason really knowing what we all got to do individually to become ready for camp. But the message is clear to come back to camp ready to compete and be ready to win. Appreciate you guys. One of the funniest guys on the team